Hey guys, how you going? It's retro night tonight, so yeah, just playing around, getting some boards in and out. So this is one that no one will have seen yet, so I thought I'd do a quick review. This is from our local guy, Sadhana Surfboards, which is Jay Jackman. So it's Sadhana Surfboards and House of Creativity. They're really cool guys. He's making everything by hand and you know, hand finished, hand sanded. He does some really nice resin tints. He's into the gliding and retro, as well as performance board. But this is what he calls his South Island fish. It's very close to the classic style fish, but a bit refined from that. So it actually goes in a lot of conditions, and it's a really great board, especially for local conditions. So this is one of his models that he's worked on for a long time over the years, and he's pretty proud of, and quite rightly, because it's a great board. So as you can see, you've got the normal big swallowtails, you've got the fishy outline, you've got the fairly flat rocker going on. You can see the beak up in the nose there. It's got a bit of extra meat in the front, but you'll probably be able to see from that he's actually refined the tail a little bit. So you can see that it fins out in the tail, and Jay does that well on a lot of his boards. So he actually keeps the rails quite low, the actual pinch point of the rail quite low, but domes the deck off nicely. So he's really good at that. As you can see, it's in this lovely resin tint. This was just bought as a stock board. This one is it's quite big, but actually still goes fine. No, fishes are supposed to be ridden small, but this is 6'3", 21 7/8, and 2 7/8, and I actually pumped 40. This one's 45 litres. This is just a stock board, but again, this has had 45 litres pumped into it, which is what I pretty much needed to do for me. I'm 84 kgs, but being a retro, and this is a 6.6 and a 6 glassing, so the deck's got two 6 ounces on it, and the base has got 1 6 ounce on it. So it's it's a fairly weighty glass schedule, which is cool for these retros, because it's like, you know, you're gonna get all that speed and glide out of it, which is what you want. So yeah, as you can see, you've got those colours going around the rails. Nice big nose up here. It's actually narrowed down in the tail, so a real retro fish would probably carry on there, but it's still got those really deep fishy pins. And what's clever about this board, and Jay is actually really good with concaves, is I'll probably come around in a bit and show you, but on the bottom it's basically running a single through here, and that single through here turns into quite a substantial V with a double running inside it. I'll just get my straight edge out here so you can have a look. So basically, going through, you've got a single that's not too wide here, and then as you get into the real part of the single under your feet, it actually goes from rail to rail pretty much, and then as you get down here, it starts going into a double and V, and you can see how much that V starts to rock as you get off the tail. So he's actually used the concaves to keep the rail rocker going quite straight through the middle, and allow the tail tips, you can probably even see on the camera, the tail tips are actually sliding off. They actually glide off on an angle. So yeah, really clever, great board. Goes in most stuff. I've ridden it in like a couple of foot to overhead here, and we get quite a slow point wave, so it's quite easy to ride. It's not as awkward as a lot of fishes. You know, a lot of the fishes have got a keel fin set up. This one's a quad. I particularly wanted a quad because I've tried glassed in keels before, and they take a bit of getting used to be honest. They don't turn as smoothly throughout the whole turn for me. They tend to they take the first part of the turn quite smoothly, and then it feels like it all releases at once. So that's just one thing about proper real glass on big keel fins in a more retro style. So Jay's refined this over years, and it's a cracking board. Like I say, with the concaves and the slightly pulled in tail, it just makes it really effective. It's a bit like it's a bit like a retro fish speed, but just turns a little bit better, and it's a bit more refined in the tail, and it's a bit more user friendly, and it's a bit more usable in all conditions. I'll come around and try and show you the concaves, and also show you the fins I've been using. So try and get this up on here, see what we can see in the concaves. So this might be a bit awkward, but I'll try and do the best I can. So what you've got is you've got a single running down here. I hope that's all right, so you can see the single. And then as you get further along here, we start to go into, you see the double and V, and then that V starts to really start to teeter there and through the fin. So you can see how much this is already going to be trying to run into a turn. And then as you get to the tail tips, you can see those actually, they're actually very tapered off on an angle. So they're, it's all designed to give it a really easy rock from rail to rail. Hopefully you can see some of that. And I've just been using these Futures Control quad fins, which are basically the split keel. They're a favourite of mine in a lot of ways, to be honest. I find those really easy to get on with. They've got a good size, good rate, good hold, but they still turn quite well with the back fin being upright. He would recommend this board with the DVS split keel, which is the Dick Van Stralen split keel. They go quite well as well. And if you're running the smaller sizes, you could probably get into something a bit less traditional if you wanted to, but I'd stick with something like these. He'll do this as a keel fin for you as well. If you wanted something a bit more like the Machado Go Fish, you could, when you get to the smaller sizes, it's a bit more like that. It's refined in the tail, and you could have a twin keel again or a quad setup. So yeah, that is the Sadhana South Island Fish. Just thought I'd throw that one in for you because it's a bit of a retro, a bit of a special board. If you've ever wanted to try like one of those retro style fish, this is a board that's really cool and really fun, and sort of helps you understand where summer surfing comes from. And then he's also got, which I've reviewed, he's got his piggy, which is a little bit it's not the same, but the nose is a little bit towards a fish, but a bit more pulled in, and the tail is a rounded pin, so it's a bit more of an egg, to be honest. But that's like one of these, which is just really, really versatile, and you can ride that as a single fin if you want to do, or as a 2+1, as a quad. So yeah, this is aimed a bit more at the smaller wave range, but if you're riding these in the smaller sizes and you're a good surfer, guys surf these up and down the South Island in pretty heavy breaks as well, because they just go fast and they hold well. So yeah, Sadhana South Island Fish. If you want any of these as a custom, go and see Jay at the boys at Sadhana and Hannah. They're all really good. They'll help you out. And yeah, that's it for me for now. Cheers.